And, there was Steven Belichick. It was just a close game. But if I'm being honest about the Patriots Buccaneers game, I didn't think there was enough coverage leading up to the game.
Real quiet.
I almost forgot that friggin' game was going to happen.
Oh, baby.
Suck it, Collinsworth. You got the slide in. I got the slide up.
Woo! Rising from the pits of hell, just like Bill Belichick's son. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of GPS, the Grossi Perna Show. I'm Tom Grossi, that's Brandon Perna, and boy, oh boy, do we have a jam-packed strawberry jam filled, just encrusted like a jelly-filled donut.
What's the difference between a jam and a jelly?
I don't like either, so I'm not the person to ask.
I mentioned that on my live stream yesterday, because somebody, I don't know how it happened in the comments, but people started talking about what you eat, and I was like, I can't even get into Tom's. They wanted Benchwarmer Brew, Tom Grossi.
People keep asking me, and I'm gonna be like, guys, I don't drink coffee. Like, you know what? At this point, the amount of people who have asked, I'm like, I don't know if it's good, but I'll be like, here you go.
There you go.
Maybe.
And then I was like, maybe Tom, he drinks tea. Maybe we'll do tea at some point. Like Tom's tea bags might be funny. And then it evolved. And I was like, yeah, I don't even want to get into Tom's diet. I don't understand it. I know he's vegan, but now I find out he doesn't like jelly. So
John says jam is more a preserve. This is the top-notch reporting.
That doesn't help, John. A preserve? What does that mean?
Jam, I think, has more sugar or real fruit in it. Jam has chunks of fruit jelly in it mixed in. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're not going to talk about jam today. We're not going to talk about jam. What we're going to talk about football. Is frickin' football, because we got a lot of it. We got a whole lot of it. Both of our teams. There was games that happened yesterday, some more than others. But you know what? Before we get into anything and standings and recaps and anything like that, what I really want to get into is the most important stat of the freaking week, and that is that Brandon Perna and I are 2-0 against other members of Clickbait Sports.
Boom. Goes the dynamite.
Perna knocking off 5-point vids Giants.
You're welcome.
Thomas Grossi knocking off the Steelers. While urinating tree sat right all next to me, drinking my beer, sweating in my chair.
Had to throw that chair away. By the way,
it's gone. It had to
burning in a trash fire somewhere.
Oh, it's gone. Yeah, no, it can't hurt anybody anymore. But ladies and gentlemen, crazy week 4. And you see from the title, the Jets and the Giants getting a W. You have the Cardinals, the only undefeated team in the NFC. Raiders might make it the only undefeated team in the AFC. It's wild. And as Perna said, some of you might not have known, Tom Brady played last night against
McCorkle Jones and the Satan's crew of writers.
Yeah. Yep.
I need to clip that out and then put some sound effects under it and just play it like whenever.
Yes. 100%.
Yeah, I am also sorry,
Conman coming with that heat already. I guess everyone was right saying you were pretenders.
Oh, I don't even get into that conversation with me right now. Don't even start with my Broncos being pretenders. They went into the game down 9 starters. They end the game down 7. They end the game down 10 starters. They lose their quarterback in the game. They lose Another receiver.
Again.
They lose Patrick Surtain. Yeah, everything went wrong for them. There are legitimate concerns, but Jesus, nothing went right for the Broncos in that game.
No.
If the Raiders lose today, 3-way tie for AFC West. Wow. And the Chiefs, yeah, they'll still be at the bottom after a win.
Appreciate you, Block. Appreciate you. Yeah, listen, I gotta say, like, this is the problem. I want the Raiders to win specifically for the content, but we're I know it's okay. It's all right. We won't talk about it. We won't. We won't talk about it. All right, let's get into some games, Brandon Perna. Let's talk about some stats. Let's get into some things. We won't jump into the Broncos right now because I see it's still a sore subject. Let's instead talk about what this show is named after, and let's talk about the Tennessee Titans and the New Jersey Jets.
Yeah, Jets, baby. Making me some money. I bet that money line, and it's the first time I got a notification about a big win. I was like, ooh.
Like $80 or something, right?
Yeah.
You're like, that has made up for all my other losses, except when I bet $400 on the Texans. But that's okay. We just slowly accrue that money back. Yeah, this game, I'll be very honest. I wasn't watching the beginning of it because why in God's name would I?
Right.
But heading into this, Titans missing their top two receivers and A.J. Brown and Julio Jones. That's why Brandon Perna looked at that and he was like, oh, maybe there's a good line to put down. And that really wasn't the story of the day, though. The story of the day was not the lack of receivers. It was the fracking Jets defense. The Jets defense smacked the crap out of Ryan Tannehill with 7 sacks. 7. That's like the Bears playing against the Browns right there.
That's Ryan Tannehill. That's like a guy who can get away from pressure, knows how to get rid of the ball quickly. Like, that's an impressive outing. And the other reason I was high on the Jets is because I watched this defense. The Broncos handled them, but I was like, this defense is sneaky tough. Yeah. Nobody's talking about them because their offense is deplorable. So thank you, Jets, for making me not look like an idiot.
Well, Zach Wilson, because I unfortunately had to watch this game because I'm sitting here, Tree is next to me. We're all amped up to watch the Packers and the Steelers. And the game goes into overtime. And basically me and everybody who was out of the market, unless you were in some parts of Wisconsin, you had to be subjected to watching the painful overtime that was the Jets-Titans that went down to the very end that led to a Titans field goal to try and tie it, and they doinked it. They freaking missed it. Did he doink it? Did he doink it or he just missed it? I think he just missed it. He just missed it. I'm sorry. There was a bunch of doinks that happened yesterday. But he misses it, and the Titans lose in overtime. Everyone laughs at the Titans. I just want to rip my eyelids off because I'm watching this monstrosity, and I missed the entire first quarter of the freaking Packers game. But with all that being said, Zach Wilson made some nice throws yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, after he threw maybe one of the worst interceptions of the week, which was early in the game, like he threw an interception where you're just like, who are you throwing to there? And I tweeted it out, like making fun of him. And then he bounced back, had a solid outing. Not just a solid outing, but kept his team in the game to win. You want to talk about the Jets defense being good, sneaky good. They're like, nobody's going to talk about the Jets defense until they do something truly impressive, which they should have done in this game, but they let the Titans score a touchdown in the final minutes of this game to go into overtime. So, like, to me, as long as Zach Wilson can play smart football, like he's got the arm talent. Yeah. He can navigate and steer a team based on his talent, but he's a rookie. And as soon as he learns to mitigate all those mistakes, then their offense might be something. But that defense, you got to shut teams out when it matters. And even so, they let him go into overtime. And then even in overtime, it's just like you let them hang around. And you had them backed up on that final drive. Like the Titans were backed way the hell up.
They
and
could
they
have
let them
scored
get
a
into field goal
touchdown too.
range.
That offense did not convert too, because I had to watch the whole thing, and they drove down the field and they got down like within the 5, and they couldn't get it done.
Yeah, so it's I need to see a little more from the Jets defense, obviously. Derrick Henry, though, like you don't talk about Derrick Henry unless he rushes for 200 yards. Like he puts out another 150 plus yard rushing game, and he's leading the league in rushing yards, and he's on pace for like 2,100 yards right now. He's just insane. But the Titans, like, man, the AFC South is a bad division.
It's bad, dude.
It could go any way. I think the Titans are the best team there, but like this might be the NFC East of 2020.
I agree.
I
agree. I mean,
we might see like an 8-8 or 8-9 team get into the playoffs. I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. You look at the Titans, who have a bad defense. Their offensive line was, I mean, again, listen, the Jets, like you said, their defense is definitely underrated, but to allow 7 sacks against it, that's bad. Like that ain't good. And now again, to be fair, but they didn't have their top 2 wide receivers, but still, like the Titans in a couple of games now have just not shown up. Like, and they've looked pitiful. Like they looked bad in the first week against the Cardinals. They look bad this week. And yeah, I don't just, I mean, like, listen, they also didn't look good against the Colts. I mean, they won that game, but they still didn't look good. And the Colts, going into Miami, getting it done. There's some props there, but hot diddly damn. Yeah, the Titans are a bad team.
Here's like the AFC South. The Texans, the Jags, the Titans in consecutive order.
Yep.
With 29, 28.8, 27.8 points allowed per game. That is the 4th, 5th, and 6th worst in the NFL right now. So a lot of bad defense.
Sounds about right.
The Titans are lucky they've got Derrick Henry keeping them in football games. When they're healthy, like they're formidable. They can score points with teams, but kind of like the Chiefs right now, who gave up a lot of points to the Eagles.
They did.
I wouldn't say that game was close. Like it was competitive for a while, and then the Chiefs kind of ran away with it. But Chiefs, their defense still 2nd worst in points allowed per game. So that's a big question mark for them moving forward. But I think before we go into good teams, let's stay on the bottom feeders, because we had the Falcons choke and we had the Giants win. So the Giants beat the Saints.
There's a lot of Saints fans in my chat right now who are going, I hate it here. Like the Saints to me are one of the most confusing teams like in the NFL right now. They come out and beat the crap out of the Packers, like pure domination. Then they get put as number 1 in your power rankings and get destroyed by the Panthers. Then they come back the following week and they freaking rock it again. And they're like, oh, okay, they're the Saints. They're a good team. And then they lose to the Giants in overtime.
Yeah. They let Daniel Jones, without his 2 of his receivers, Shepard and Slayton, both out, throw for 402 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. I don't have a fumble update on Daniel Jones in this game, but yeah, the Saints, like they've got to have a complete defensive performance, I think, to be in any game. And they did not do that against the Giants. And the concern this season was we don't know who Jameis Winston is as a quarterback for the Saints. Is he going to be better? He's just going to be Jameis Winston. And I don't think you can bank on him being the guy every single week to carry your team. So
No.
Well,
I mean, Kamara did not play well either because I had him fantasy too. But you look at Jameis Winston's stats so far this season, and it's like, again, you had the first week where he hasn't, yesterday was the first time he threw for over 150 yards. Like, that was the first time. And I think that like proves your point that when you have their defense, which can be really good, like their run defense, which didn't look as good because Saquon Barkley had himself a nice day yesterday. You're like, all right, you're kept in games and you're fine. But look at these stats here: 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions week 1, then 0 touchdowns and 2 interceptions week 2. Then when playing against the Patriots, he had 2 TDs and 0 interceptions, and then yesterday just 1 touchdown and that was it.
He's Jekyll and Hyde, basically.
Very, very, very much so.
And Alvin Kamara, Tom, I hate to correct you here, but he ran the ball effectively, 120 rushing yards.
Did he? Oh, maybe I'm sorry. I might have just missed that. I apologize.
Well, but you're used to seeing Kamara involved in the passing game.
That's the one.
And that's where he was not. Did he have any catches? No, 0 catches in this game. Marquez Callaway was the Saints' leading receiver on the day.
That's what it was. Saquon did well in the passing game, and Kamara didn't do well in the pass. I mixed it up, people. I'm sorry.
Flip flop.
The Saints still lost. All right, so suck it.
2 touchdowns for Barkley, 1 receiving, 1 rushing, 74 rushing yards. Yeah, Barkley back. That's a big help to the Giants moving forward. And the Giants, like the Jets, because the Broncos have played them both. I think their defense not deplorable. Like they could
have a good defense
in games. They've lost in some bad ways this season. So for Adam's sake, it was nice to see the Giants close out a game. And even that one had to go in OT. So you know, I don't think the Giants or Jets are good by any means. But we both said that they weren't going to go winless this season. And now it's basically the Lions and the Jags on path for that first overall pick. And I kind of hope that the Jaguars get the first overall pick.
Same.
Because they already got their quarterback. Like that gives them, that I think makes the draft a little unpredictable because they could trade out of that position a couple spots to a team that's sold on a QB. The Lions just having the number 2 pick seems funny to me, and I don't want bad things to happen to the Lions, but Sean Payton's Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill had like the best run in that game too.
Also that interception, but yeah. They like that's the thing. The Giants I think the Giants are better than what their record said. Not by much at all.
Yeah.
But like they are better than that. And I think even like the Jets, like they have a foundation that they have a rookie QB that they're working with. They have a no run game to speak of, but their defense is like, okay, like they're going to be good. I think that those teams like just need to rebuild the right way. The only thing I will say as a Giants fan, if you are a Giants fan, is I feel like you still don't know if Daniel Jones is your guy.
No.
Like I feel like we're in week 4 and you still don't know. You're just like, because he can have amazing performances and then like
what was really funny to me about the Giants is one of the stories this season is like their rookie Kadarius Toney, they have just not had involved in the offense. And then he did have a nice game this weekend, but the first guy they score with was actually John Ross, another speedy guy that another team refused to get involved with the passing game. But Toney had a nice game. Kenny Golladay stepped up. So some of the receivers you took some chances on, they played. Maybe that helps them. Maybe Daniel Jones, as he gets comfortable with those guys, you do get that answer, before the Giants maybe got to draft their next QB or make a play this offseason for one of the 40 rumored QBs who hate their organization are, speculated about come January.
I already see myself doing a skit where I am running a auction house for Aaron Rodgers. And what teams are going to do. I can already see it. It's already playing out in my head. I can already see it. But the Jets and Giants, both Jersey teams, getting W's yesterday. And just like everyone predicted.
Yep.
Just like everybody predicted.
That's what's great about every NFL Sunday is you don't know. Like any team can win, any team can lose. And nobody loses better than the hot Atlanta Falcons, who are always fucking cold. So cold. Another lead lost in the fourth quarter. Stop me if you've heard this, Falcon fans. Stop me, please. I don't want to crap on your team, but the way they lost to Washington, they give up a 100-yard kick return. Also, let's stop tracking kick returns by yards that they take out of the end zone. Like it should just be 100, 109, 102. Like, first of all, it's pretty hard to tell in the end zone. It's just 100. It's 100 yards. Otherwise, why don't you count the yards they go past the goal line on the other side? One of my pet peeves. Don't know why that came up, but
we uncovered something there. That was we uncovered Aaron Rodgers going to Tampa. Please God no. Please God no.
God. But I think he would go to Aaron Rodgers got choices. I think he would consider Tampa if Brady retires. He would consider
the Packers
Steelers,
ultimately, but yeah,
he would consider the Colts. He would consider the Broncos, and he would want to go to the 49ers, but they may be getting their long look at Trey Lance soon because Jimmy G left that game with a calf injury, so we got a little bit of Trey Lance in that game.
Let's just because I want to get this out of the way. Let's talk about that Sunday night game and talking about the Patriots and the Buccaneers here. Yeah, a game that was probably one of the most hyped up games. Like they're pulling out, they're paying for Adele music licensing. That ain't cheap, folks.
No,
it ain't cheap. And boy, oh boy, did they
Urban Meyer.
We'll talk about Urban Meyer. We'll talk about
grinding through it like a champ.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, the game was. I think a lot of people tuned out of it for a while because like it was slow, and it wasn't like a god awful game. It was just a defensive game, and you had like every now and then there's like little breakthroughs, but it was like, hey, let's try to get 2 to 3 yards on this one. Let's try to get another 2 to 3 yards on this one, and. Obviously not having Gronk, which was kind of sad because you wanted to see him back. The crowd, they kept panning to the crowd besides Bill Belichick's son. And like they were cheering Brady like before the game started. And then he took the field and like the chorus of boos started. Yeah. And it was just like everything was a storyline. Everything.
Credit for the Patriots fans being organized like that. Like they decided we will cheer him when he comes out, and then when he goes onto the field for the first time, he's getting booed.
We're gonna
boo this traitor. Yeah. And I think Patriots fans have a right to be angry with Tom. None of them really are, but let's be honest, he's the only quarterback in NFL history who chose to leave his team after 20 years. Montana got pushed out. Peyton Manning got pushed out. Brett Favre got pushed out. Tom Brady was like, I see some cracks in this team for the first time in 20 years. I'm going to go somewhere better. So if I were a Patriots fan, I would be bitter. I would have booed very hard when he entered the field. But a couple things that happened in this game. Mac Jones played better than Tom Brady.
Mac Jones played well.
And Brady wasn't bad, but Mac Jones was more efficient. He
was getting walled back there too. He was getting killed.
Yeah, he got his ass kicked. Like Brady had time to throw. Mac Jones, I think he was sacked 4 times in this game.
I got you. ESPN, by the way, is just filled. Like it's all Brady Belichick. That's all it is.
Oh,
and Mac Jones was sacked 4 times. Brady was sacked once. Brady was hit a couple times, but
part of that's a young QB. They're always going to hold on to the ball too long sometimes. Like a vet like Brady knows when the play is over and he's just got to get rid of the ball.
He missed, I will say, he missed a bunch of throws last night, Brady. Did. There was the back-to-back at the very, very end going both to Antonio Brown. The first one, just a terrible throw. Like it's on the other side of him on the right side.
I think AB messed that up. I think
AB, the second one, AB was out of his hands.
Well, I think the first one, AB turned the wrong shoulder.
Gotcha.
Brady thought he was going to turn towards the sideline, and that ball hit
right next to him.
Right on it was, I think, in the end zone, right on the marker there. So I think it was a good throw. It was just he thought Brown would turn the other way. But yeah, and then they miss. But Brady always, so it was raining in that game. And Brady played so many games, so many bad weather games in Foxborough. And the narrative's always like, Tom Brady's so good. Doesn't matter the weather. It can be cold and snowy. It can be rainy. He's perfect. Last night during the broadcast, Chris Collinsworth like, well, it's rainy here. So Tom's struggling a little bit because of the rain. That's really hard for a quarterback. Like, they're just going to always give him the benefit of the doubt.
Always. They're just
no, he was throwing some shit balls. Just say it. Just say it, Chris.
Oh my God. Yeah, but I will say the question I had at the end was I put it on Twitter too, and the chat was kind of going nuts that it was 4th and 3, and they send out Nick Folk to kick a 58-yard field goal in the pouring rain instead of going for it and potentially getting Nick Folk a little bit closer.
Yeah, it's 4th down, though. It's
56, excuse me, 56.
Yeah, either way, that's a tough kick. I didn't think he was going to make it.
In the pouring rain.
Almost did, but yeah, that was the doink. That was a doink so loud you could hear it in probably New Jersey. Like, it was just like quiet, boom, and then New England, like, just
Bears fans are like
life leaving them. Who are you rooting for in that game?
I got that question all night. And honestly, like, I was kind of rooting for the Patriots just because the Buccaneers are in the NFC. And I was just like, okay, I guess this helps the Packers a little bit more, in like some weird like seeding what it would look like. But that's literally the only reason. At the end, though, I'm not gonna lie. The way Mac Jones played, like I know people like make fun of him because he does like a lot of check downs. It's a lot of short throws or what have you.
A lot of Tom Brady's.
A lot of Tom Brady's. But I do feel like the fact that he got the crap kicked out of him and he still was like stepping up and did make some throws and he was gutsy. Yeah, like I was kind of pulling for Mac Jones at the end.
Yeah, it would have been really fun to see Brady's predecessor, get the win against him. I found myself rooting for the Pats to win that game too. And it's like one of those things where it's one of those games where I didn't think about who I actually wanted to win because I didn't care. Yeah. And I was mostly just like annoyed at how much coverage it got. And not even like as a hater. I was just like, we've got a 3-hour pregame show and you guys just keep pounding on this. Like, there's other teams and other games I'm interested in hearing about this week. Could we talk about them? Yeah. And it was just like everything was a sideshow to that. And I get it. It's a big event.
Sure.
It was just a little much. But at the end there, you got evil Stephen Belichick. You got angry Bill Belichick. You got Josh McDaniels dialing up trick play after trick play to come after Brady the same way we had seen that offense do to so many teams where just like, it makes you mad. Like, oh, why can they do a trick play in this situation and it works? And it was working against Tom. I was like, I kind of want to see this be the way, like, I wanted
call the Philly special.
I wanted New England on that final drive to call another one of those trick plays to win the game, like, but losing on a missed field goal, and the Pats missed a field goal earlier in that game, so that cost them. And I wanted to say that I'm a big fan of Michael Irvin as a TV football analyst. A lot of people not a big fan of Michael Irvin. One, I love that he just yells at shit randomly, just yelling for no reason. As somebody who does that from time to time myself, appreciate it.
It's true.
But I was watching a little bit of ESPN this morning, and I never do. I'm usually watching NFL Network. I'm loyal to them. I like their coverage better. They're not like the hot take artists.
Yeah.
But I switched to ESPN on a commercial just in time for Michael Irvin to say if he were Mac Jones, he would have went into that locker room, pulled his kicker aside, and said, if you miss another kick like that, I'm going to whoop your ass. I'm going to whoop your ass. I had a chance to beat Tom Brady, and you ruined it. So,
dude, like, the headlines already, like, if you go, like, right now, ESPN's, like, front page is littered with this game. The number one story, making sense of the Tom Brady, Bill Belichick reunion. Perhaps the most surprising thing about Brady's triumphant return wasn't that he beat his old coach. It was what happened before and after the game in the locker room.
God.
Like it really was. And they just, the dono that just came in talked about this. And I mentioned this on the show, on the stream last night, that there are some games that you don't really need any hype for. They just hype themselves up because they're going to be good football games. Like, I think the Packers-Chiefs game, that's going to be later this year. Mahomes, like, it's going to be a good game, right? It sells
like
itself.
Tonight, Raiders and Chargers.
I think it's just be a good football game. Yeah. This one is an example of, like, the storyline literally was just, like, all encompassing and no one gave a crap about the football. And which is why it was kind of funny that the football game itself was like super slow, because I imagine like a ton of casual fans who turned in was like, what the hell is this crap? Like, dude, it wasn't high scoring. It wasn't an offensive battle at all.
If this was the exact same game and outcome and it was like Patriots Dolphins.
Yeah.
Like, this game was horrible. Yep. Unwatchable game. Oh man, I wanted to say something before we moved on here. Oh, everybody made so there was the Belichick hug at the end with Brady, very short-lived. And then the Patriots like Instagram account like gets a moment from that hug where it looks like Belichick like was really giving Brady a nice hug, like he loved him. Propaganda. But then the big story was like Belichick goes into the Bucs locker room after the game.
For like 20 minutes.
Still in there. And it's like, oh, I wonder what they talked about. Belichick went in there to look at Tom Brady's penis one last time because he knew it was his last chance to see that man shower. That's why Belichick went into the locker room. Per sources.
Wow, that took a hard left turn that I did not anticipate coming that off. I was like,
I had something to say. I forgot it for a second. And then I remembered to go, oh yeah, this is a locker room wiener joke. Got to get this into the show. Trivia for you, Tom. Tom Brady. Do you hate that you share the first name with him?
No, I mean, he had it first, technically. And like my dad.
Wait, you're younger than Tom?
I am, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, you look pretty good right now, actually. Your hair's perfect.
You just kind of made an insult, though, but I was surprised that I was younger than Tom Brady, who's in his 40s.
Well, I mean, Tom just, he's ageless. Okay, trivia. We all know at this point, Tom Brady joined Drew Brees.
Yes.
Brett Favre. Yes. Peyton Manning.
Yes.
The only quarterbacks to beat all 32 teams.
Yes.
Right now, can you tell me the other three quarterbacks?
Aaron Rodgers won.
Okay, that have beat 31 teams.
Aaron Rodgers definitely won because he had to beat the Bengals. I think it was like a year or two ago, and like that was the last of the teams. Now it's just the Packers.
Correct.
So Aaron Rodgers. Is Phillip Rivers on there?
No, but there's another guy who's retired-ish. He's retired. Who's on the list? But there's one active player who's beat all 31 teams.
Okay.
Two outside of Rodgers.
Rodgers. Okay, there's Rodgers. Who's beaten? I'm like going through. Is it Ben Roethlisberger?
It is.
Okay,
it's Ben Roethlisberger.
Okay.
The surprise is the other guy.
He's retired?
Think about a journeyman, sort of, who is retired.
Yeah, so it's not Fitzpatrick. Is it Andrew Luck?
No, that would be a great set. It's Alex Smith. Smith.
Oh.
He's beaten all 31 teams except, I should have looked up who he hasn't beaten. Probably the Chiefs.
Or the 49ers.
Or 49ers. One of the teams he probably played for a while. But
oh, that sucks. If he was on that Super Bowl team, like with the Chiefs, he could have beat the 49ers.
Man, poor guy.
Favre beat all 32. No, Favre beat everybody because the Packers are the last one and he beat them twice. So
yeah. All right. Okay. We
someone goes
talked about Bucs Patriots too long after we just ripped everybody else for doing it.
We did.
We're hypocrites, but we don't care.
That's fine. It's fine.
Cardinals Rams. I thought this game was interesting.
Dude.
Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. The cardiac Cardinals are for real, ladies and gentlemen, beating my number 2 power ranked team, the Rams. I got some thoughts here, but You go first.
It's because you really meant to put the Rams at number 1. Like that's what you felt in your heart, but you just did it for the Raiders.
I would have cursed them too.
So I feel like, yeah, you would have cursed them and I would have died laughing. So I feel like the curse still holds. And I feel like if the Raiders win tonight, then it's like literally it's the curse to you. And it was just nay.
Yeah. So if the Raiders win tonight, I'm going to have to be honest with my number 1 moving forward. I can't put a team there just because I want to curse them. That's what I will have learned.
Yeah, this was a fascinating game in which the second half, like the Rams, like they got that late touchdown that made that game like look a bit closer than it was, but they were shut down. And the Cardinals like came to play. You mentioned Kyler Murray had himself a damn good game, 24-32, 268, 2 touchdowns, even ran for 39 yards. Kyler Murray, this was like a mistake-free football game for him because he's been throwing like some picks and you're like, oh, I don't really like that. But there's 2 things that I have here. One, this just shows that the NFL watches my West reactions because I said in that video that the Cardinals were going to beat the Rams and they were like, oh, that's never going to happen. Look what happened. Hashtag Grandpa Cardinal. That's
Boom.
One. Two, I'm just surprised at how poorly the Rams played, honestly. Like that was, I think, the bigger surprise. It's not necessarily that the Cardinals played well because they've shown those flashes that they can play very well. It's more that the Rams just did not show up for an entire half of football. Like that.
Yeah, it seems like the Rams got a little too reliant on, I think, Cooper Kupp being open every single play.
Oh, yeah.
So I think Stafford struggled a little bit to, maybe spread the ball around outside of him. He tried to hit Deshaun Jackson deep once through a pick. But here's, and like I brought up the points per game stat because right now you've got the Cardinals, you got the Bills, Chiefs, Cowboys, Buccaneers, Raiders, Rams, 49ers, Ravens, Seahawks. Like those top 10 scoring teams, they're all teams that you think are going to be in the playoffs. So like the NFL is designed for you to score a lot of points now.
Accurate. Yeah.
And if you're not in the top echelon of these teams, you're shit. And that's what my Broncos are struggling with right now. Like their offense can't keep up with any of these teams scoring wise. It happened with the Ravens, and the Ravens only scored 23 points. Yeah. The Cardinals lead the league points per game, 35. So right now they can beat you so many ways. 1, Kyler Murray throwing. 2, Kyler Murray running. 3, running the ball. James Conner in the red zone. They just give it to him, and he's got 4 touchdowns the last 2 weeks. Steelers fans got to be losing their mind that they couldn't figure out how to run the ball with James Conner in the red zone.
Yep.
And their defense, while not perfect, has shown some, like week 1, they looked like they could be
amazing
in the league. But yeah, they gave the Rams issues in this game, slowed them down enough. And the Rams, I think another problem for LA right now is their defense isn't as dominant as it was last season. So still a solid defense, but they couldn't slow down the Cardinals. They couldn't slow them down at all. So like if you're the Rams, you're a little bit worried that your defense isn't, I mean, it was top 1 or 2 defenses last year. I think if the Rams defense was playing at that level, they should have won that game. But Arizona, credit to you because you look like, dare I say, the best team in the league right now.
Oh, I disagree.
Dare I say that?
Oh, I disagree. But real quick, talk about that for a second. But the thing that I wanted to see too, and I saw it in this game, was not only, but Chase Edmonds had 120 yards. So like that was a nice combo that they had between him and Connor. Yeah. But AJ Green, 5 receptions, 67 yards, a touchdown. Max Williams, 566, 1 touchdown. Hopkins was 4 for 67, but like they have a lot of weapons. And this is without, like, Christian Kirk did nothing in this game. Like, that's what I'm saying. The Cardinals have a ton of weapons that they really, 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 they really, really, really like have a ton of offensive weapons. They can put up a ton of points. If their defense can play well, yeah, they could be a really, really good football team. And I still think they're figuring it out too. But Stafford, did not play his best yesterday. And it also is a divisional game. So those are always a little wonky. I'm very curious to see how the Rams play the Seahawks. I think it's this Thursday. I think that's a Thursday night game.
Yeah, you also have Bills
game.
Chiefs coming up this week. So right now, I think
Monday night, baby.
to me,
Rams Seahawks, yeah.
The two best quarterbacks in the league, Kyler Murray, Josh Allen. Kyler Murray, Josh Allen.
Let's talk about the team that I think, even though this is spoilers, is the best team in the NFL right now. I think it's the Bills.
Yes.
I think it's
the
Bills.
B's, baby.
Because I mean, it's the Texans, right? It is the Texans. But they won 40-0. 4 sacks. Yeah. Josh Allen had himself a pretty darn good day. Stephon Diggs said, oh, hey, Dawson Knox getting 2 touchdowns. The offense is starting to click, and holy crap, that defense, man, 40-0.
You know who I cursed, Tom?
Who'd you curse?
Davis Mills.
Dude, you cursed him so hard. It's because you spelled circle wrong, and you put him in the center of the misspelled circle.
Yeah, Davis Mills, 4 picks, 87 passing yards against that Bills defense. Bills defense jumps into
2 shutouts.
First place for points allowed after a shutout. Just leapfrogging my Denver Broncos. 11 points per game for the Bills through 4 weeks. If the Bills defense stays, I mean, they haven't played great teams yet either. They did lose week 1 to the Steelers. So the Bills still have some things to prove, but
sure.
Damn, like when I watch Josh Allen and Kyler Murray play quarterback, I am so envious because they can beat you so many ways. And
sure.
All right, through the years, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, and the now defunct Deshaun Watson, and Russell Wilson, what do those guys do incredibly well? It is extend passing plays, and not by running the ball. They can run the ball, but they get out of pressure. They're always looking downfield to make plays. Josh Allen does that just as well as any of those guys. Every week he makes a throw. You're just like, oh, wow. And actually, Drew Lock made a throw like that in the Broncos game, but it was called back for a very bad holding penalty. But like, I just believe the Bills can beat any team in the league, and I believe the Cardinals can beat any team in the league, and it's because they can hang with them scoring. And if you want to give the edge to the Bills, it's because their defense probably playing better football this season so far. So, go like Bills.
That's what I mean, is that if you look at the momentum, right? The Bills lost week 1 to the Steelers in a close game. Offense really couldn't find its place, but defense started picking up. Then the offense started picking up. And then like yesterday, you kind of had it come together. Like the defense obviously put out an amazing performance. But I think it's just that they are a very balanced football team. And I would be saying the same exact thing, because speaking of your triple Bs, the Browns, I had them there too because their defense was really good yesterday. But good God, their offense was straight trash. They were bad.
Well, it was weird.
Baker Mayfield. Weird.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. Like, Baker is good enough to... He's like an athletic... He's like Alex Smith a little bit. He's this kind of athletic game manager. And if you just keep him within what he does well, his team's always going to have a chance to win.
Yeah.
The Browns ran the ball effectively, but the Vikings defense in the red zone,
dude, they were great. They were great. Yeah, Chubb still got 100 yards, and I think Hunt had 69. Nice. And I think he had a TD. Like, they were able to run the ball efficiently. But yeah, I was watching that because they kept showing it on red zone. That like the Browns kept on like, nope, we're not gonna let you in. There was one, I think they held them, and it was 4th down. It was like 4th and goal. Yep. And then the Vikings committed a penalty, so they got a whole new set of downs. And it still took them multiple chances for Kareem Hunt to actually get in.
Yeah, it took like 6 or 7 chances to score. Like the Browns, I thought they were going to be more dominant in their wins.
Yeah.
I'm starting to feel like they're going to have close games every week, which is fine because I think their defense is actually very good.
Their defense is
holding Minnesota to 7 points. Like that's impressive. But yeah, you're a little concerned. Like Baker's not going to raise the level of offensive talent or performance of that team every week. He's going to have some good games. He's going to be efficient. I like Baker Mayfield. I'm not trying to knock him because I think he gets a lot of unfair criticism as well.
I agree.
But
I think Baker Mayfield's a good quarterback.
I just wanted to say this real quick while it's on my mind. All right. So the Bills play the Chiefs this week.
Yes.
Big test for Buffalo.
Oh, yeah.
But after, listen to the Bills' schedule after they play the Chiefs. Titans, Dolphins, Jags, Jets, Colts, Saints, Pats, and then they play the Buccaneers December 12th. And then they got the Panthers and the Pats again in December. But they've got an easy schedule. Like the Bills' focus has to be on winning the AFC so they get that bye, I think, which is going to be important. So sorry, I was just looking at their schedule. I'm like, oh God.
No, it's because I will say, I said this at Friday Night Q&A, and they said, like, who do I thought like a sleeper team or dark horse team was, like, that their record doesn't really reflect. And I said the Minnesota Vikings. Like, I said that on Friday, right, because they could be almost undefeated, like, right now. They lost. And Tree was talking about this yesterday too. You know, you have a missed field goal, you have some bad defensive plays, like, and the defense is better than it was. And I think they showed that yesterday. But you know, Kirk Cousins, he threw his first interception of the season. This pains to talk about. Like, this is disgusting. I feel sick. But the Vikings, they're going to give some teams a hard time. You know, I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs. Maybe they're a little bit of sneak into like the number 7 seed, because I think the NFC is super competitive this year. But Vikings,
no, they're better than the record.
Yeah,
it's their defense is a little bit better, but it's also because their offense can click and score. Like,
yes,
when I'm talking about the Broncos, my concern with them not being able to score 30 points, the Vikings can on any given week. Like Dalvin Cook, the Browns shut him down. They limited the passing game, but we've seen Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson just tear apart secondaries. We've seen Dalvin Cook control games on the ground. Like, the Vikings can do that. Also, this game, we should have known it was going to be one of those low-scoring, grinded-out type games, because it's Kevin Stefanski going against his old team and Mike Zimmer. Like, those guys know how to coach against each other. They know what the other guy's going to do. And so it's not a division game, but it felt like a division game because of, I think, the coaching master.
And again, too, like, they just mentioned in the chat too, I wanted to say, like, Dalvin Cook also wasn't, like, he's playing through injuries. Like, he's not at 100% at all. So, I mean, like, there's also that big component of it. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see, like, when the Packers play the Vikings, like, I'm not looking past them at all. And I'm like, this is going to be challenging. But you know what? I feel like we've teased it, Brandon Perna. We've teased it enough. Let's talk about your Denver Broncos and the Baltimore Ravens.
I mean, do I need to? I got to do it. It's so funny because I do the live Broncos stream, and then I do a podcast recap after, and then I do a Monday recap of the video. That's good sports style. So I don't know what to say other than they got screwed by injuries. It's really starting to affect them. Teddy Bridgewater left the game with a concussion. Should have been flagged. He was hit in the freaking face smashed. No roughing the passer. Drew Lock comes in.
He got popped.
Teddy or Drew? I mean, they both got hit a lot, but
Teddy. No, the one where he got popped in the face. Like, and that wasn't a flag. Yeah, no, I saw that.
Teddy got hit. Should have been a flag. I don't know. Like, I don't think the Broncos win this game, even if, like, things went right for them.
Okay.
But it should have been a close game. I predicted the Broncos win 23-20. I think, if I'm being completely honest, they should have lost 23-20. They had a touchdown dropped by Albert O, their tight end. Like, Teddy just throws like a 40-yard dime to our second-year tight end. And it literally, his arms are like this, and the ball just goes through his hands, Tom. Just goes through his hands. That was the opening drive. They could have went up 7-0.
Sure.
They stopped the Ravens the first couple series. They do take a 7-0 lead. They should have been up 14-0, which I think just changes momentum, the way the Ravens attack the game.
Guac, appreciate you, by the way. I can't highlight comments for whatever reason, but Guac, thanks for the hundo, buddy. Coming in there with a hundo.
Whoa,
Saying bolt up, baby.
dono.
Yeah, I can't. My comments are not refreshing in StreamYard. I don't know why, but
oh yeah, mine aren't either. Weird.
Thanks a lot, StreamYard.
Thanks. Also, I got 1,300 people in. Thank you, pornographers. Wow. We're almost at 2,500 live viewers, Tom.
Yeah, I got 1,200, so you don't have to make a big deal about it. Okay.
Oh, yeah. No, that's awesome. That's what we want. We want to get 4K live viewers every day. We appreciate you guys watching us. 100%. We don't take it for granted.
Did they say, is there, so because the Packers had a major injury yesterday too. So is there like a diagnosis about Teddy? Is it
Teddy? There's a good chance he doesn't play. I mean, he's got a clear concussion protocol.
Yeah.
If he does, he won't be able to practice until Friday at the earliest. So yeah, that's a concern. They lose another receiver. Patrick Surtain had a chest or shoulder injury. Don't know the severity of that yet. They're just depleted, and they didn't have either of their starting guards this game.
I saw that too, that they were both out.
It was an issue. I mean, and the reserves are decent, but the bigger issue, let me just blame one guy, Pat Shurmur. Dude sucks at calling plays. Hate that hire. Special teams, also bad coach, Tom McMahon. Special teams gave up a big return in this game. I don't know how many weeks we got to see that shit before his job's considered. Dude, these guys are going to be gone after this season. I guarantee George Payton is not going to let them linger. Shurmur doesn't know how to read a game. Like, as an offensive coordinator, you got to be able to adjust. The Ravens get up one score, and he just abandons the run.
He's like, we're done now.
They were running the ball well. And now we're down one score. Better throw it every single time. And if one run doesn't go well, it's
never
again. The Ravens third and long so many times. But yeah, Pat Shurmur, fire him. Tom McMahon, fire him. And then get us the good offensive coordinators that are really easy to find, and special teams guys.
You can just find them. It's easy. It's fine.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm done ranting.
Okay, good.
Give me Packers Steelers. What was your takeaway from that game? I know there was an offsides call that.
So that, oh God. Like my stream last night, it was just like, Tom, admit it. It wasn't offsides. And I was like, here's what I'll admit. Because they only had one view of it, and it was like the overhead, and it looks like the Steelers just jumped the ball and timed it really, really well. So it didn't look like it was offsides, but they never showed the down the line footage of it. So I was like, I can't tell from there. But again, and what I said was, okay, then it's a 7-point swing, and it totally changed the game. But I can't do anything about it. I'm sorry. If it was a bad call, it's a bad call. And if anybody's watched my channel, it's like, you know how much I hate refs interfering with the game. Like it's garbage. But yeah, the Packers, I would say their defense looked good, which I think it did. But good God, I think it's more the Steelers' offense is just bad. Didn't have Chase Claypool, but their offense is just bad. Ben on the first drive, I think this is the first time, I think it was like 10 weeks or something like that they scored on the first drive, like a touchdown. And Ben had like that dart over Jair Alexander. And I was like, oh, this is going to be a game. And then Ben was like, let's never do that again. He missed a few throws. The big thing coming out of this game, besides the Packers win and being atop the NFC North, is two things. One, the Steelers are in the basement as the only non-3-1 team in the AFC North. Who in God's name would have ever seen that coming?
No, that's weird.
By the way, Joe Mixon also has an ankle sprain in his week to week. I saw that earlier this morning drop on the Twitters from the Schefters. But that's the big one. And the other big thing is that Jair Alexander, our corner, is injured. Went and hit Harris, like a beautiful open field tackle, but has an AC joint injury in his shoulder. And we have no idea what the severity is of that unless something has broken during the show, and I just haven't seen it.
I know a little bit about AC joint injuries. Okay. Basically, it's going to be how much pain he can play in. And if you're an offensive player, I think you can play through it a little bit easier. But defenders, they use those shoulders to hit people.
That's all. That's accurate. Yes.
It will depend on the severity. Like, there's probably a point where you can injure it more. But I know Trevor Siemian played through it as a quarterback. And shit, was it Demaryius Thomas or Cortland Sutton had one, and they missed like a week or two, maybe a week, and came back, and he's not going to be right. Yeah. And the issue is it's harder to heal if you're playing through it. So yeah, that's tough, but I don't think it's unless like there's an MRI reveals something like horrible. Like I don't think it's I think he can get back. Maybe you miss him a couple weeks.
The next few games that we're playing the Bengals next week.
Bungs.
The kitty goes meow. We're playing kitty goes meow. They were playing the Bears, then Washington. So like, I'm not trying to sleep on them, but what I'm saying is those offenses aren't incredible. So we might be able to survive that. You know, I think actually the Bengals might be the toughest one when it came to offenses there. But then we turn around on October 28th, at the end of October, it's a short week against the Cardinals, and then it's the Chiefs. So I'm really hoping that Jair Alexander heals, because right now the Packers are an injured football team. So Darius Smith getting back surgery. He's out indefinitely, might not even play a snap with the Green Bay Packers ever again, because who knows what's going on with his contract. That's a big one. Elton Jenkins hurt for the second consecutive week. I'm really happy with how the offensive line played against a good defensive front like the Steelers, like they did with the 49ers. Dave Bakhtiari is not eligible to return after week 6. You have Kevin King, who is still injured, and now you have Jair Alexander's injured. So our number 1 left tackle, our number 2 left tackle, our number 1 CB, and our number 1 pass rusher are all injured right now. And they're still winning. Like, that's why, like, I think the Packers are still going to be high in my power, because they're still winning football games. And I think that just shows if they're able to get healthy, they'll be like down the stretch, they'll be good. They'll be good. So.
Yeah, it's like they're in the same situation record wise as the Broncos, right? They're both dealing with injuries at this point. But you feel fine about the Packers because they've got a guy named Aaron Rodgers.
Yes, sir.
Who's going to make up for so many deficiencies.
Yes, sir.
And that's why the Broncos will still want Aaron Rodgers after this season.
Listen, just trade us the farm. That's all I want. Like, I hope Surtain does really well, because he'll look really good in the green and gold, replacing Kevin King. And we'll get him. We'll get 3 first-round picks. You know, maybe throw, like, I don't know, like Jerry Jeudy in there too. You know, I'll take Sutton though. I'll take Sutton.
Here's a hot take, Tom.
Here's a hot take. Fresh
Trey Lance. Limited action. Best rookie quarterback right now. Even though the 49ers lost. That was a weird game. Did you watch?
It was a very weird game. I was able to catch a bunch of like after.
Yeah,
that was a strange game.
But I know the 49ers jumped out to a 7-0 lead.
The Seahawks were horrible
and held them to like no
yards. They were horrible
in the first quarter.
And then they're like, "Oh, you want us to play football? Oh, okay. I thought we were playing a different game. Okay." And then they went and they played football. Dude, yeah. I said in my pick'em league, I said, you look at these two teams. I don't think either of their defenses are amazing. Their secondaries are not great. I say the Seahawks can score more points. And they did. And Jimmy G got hurt. But Jimmy G didn't look that great. Jimmy G got hurt. And then Trey Lance came in. And he was... if you're the way I phrased it was like when Bears fans were looking at this and like Andy Dalton went down and Justin Fields had to play. And they're like, oh no, hope he gets well soon. And then Jimmy G goes down and there's like, oh no, we get to see Trey Lance.
Yeah, so, it's probably time to just commit to Trey Lance if you're the 49ers. Obviously, it's a competitive division. The 49ers have a chance to win it still. But I don't know. And I like Jimmy G. Yeah. I don't think he's a great quarterback, but I think he's good. But I think it's just you just got to see what you have with Trey Lance. You traded up to get him. He sat a couple weeks now. It's like your starting QB getting injured is the most natural transition to play that backup.
Yep. Look at Tom Brady.
It takes like pressure off him. It's like, hey, we didn't plan on starting you at this point. Go out there. We're willing to go through the bumps with you. Just play football the way you know how, Trey.
Yep.
That's I don't know, some Midwestern coach talking to him. But yeah, I want to see the Niners with a quarterback who, I don't know, can beat you multiple ways.
That's what I'm saying. It opens the playbook, honestly, because like you have to then worry about Trey Lance running. And the 49ers have the unfortunate tendency to get everyone injured on their team. Like if they actually had like their starting running backs and you put Trey Lance there, like that's gonna be horrifying because it's which way can they run all over you? You have George Kittle blocking his ass off. Like they could be a really good power running team. And Deebo Samuel crushed it yesterday. Guy had over 100 yards. I think he had 2 touchdowns. Like Deebo Samuel did well. Like he is their speedy threat. Like he can definitely tear apart secondaries. I think that what you said is right on the money because at this point it's like, hey, we're going to give Jimmy G the opportunity and we're going to slowly integrate Trey Lance in there, like, a couple plays here and there. But now it's like, oh, okay, well, Jimmy G's hurt. So let's just see how long Trey Lance has. And who knows if he gets that job back. And the 49ers should be used to this because that's what happened with Alex Smith and freaking Colin Kaepernick. And Alex Smith just never got the job back. So, like, they've already been down this because time is a flat circle, and that's it.
Yeah, basically they need to trade Jimmy Garoppolo to the Chiefs at this point.
Just trade him back or trade him back to the Patriots. Just so he could just keep going back and forth. Just over and over again. For all time. Real quick, I know it wasn't on the rundown. I'm sorry to surprise you like this because there were some Cowboys fans in the chat.
Cowboys look good. Cowboys look so good.
Prescott 14 for 22, 4 touchdowns. And you know what? I have the raw footage too. During my predictions, I said I think that this might be the first game where Sam Darnold struggles. And I took it out because I was like, it's the Cowboys defense. Like, are they really going to struggle? Just like I picked the Colts originally, but I changed it to the Dolphins while I was talking about that game. And I was like, you know what? Now I'll take it out. And Sam Darnold struggled. He did. The Cowboys looked like a pretty darn good football team.
The Cowboys, like the Panthers have a very good defense.
Yes.
They were playing great early in this game. Kind of got dicked by the refs on some controversial fumble calls, but the Cowboys ran the ball down their throat.
Zeke, boy. Oh, man.
And the Panthers heading into that game, best run defense in the NFL, and they were on a record pace. Like that's how good they were against the run. And Dallas sort of been kind of up and down in their run game, really doing it through the air with Dak Prescott, but they ran the ball down Carolina's throat, and Dak he had like the week 1 Jameis Winston type.
I was just about to make that. Yep. Over 200 yards on the ground too, like between all three. It was Prescott, it was Pollard, and then it was Zeke who like crushed it this week. They looked like a complete team. Trayvon Diggs has an interception in every single game this season so far.
Yeah. 5 so far. Dude is balling. I think he's got more interceptions than Stephon Diggs has catches. And the Bills are killing people too. Cowboys defense, not perfect.
No.
But much improved compared to last year. They're way better. So credit maybe Dan Quinn helping right that ship a little bit. Maybe just Dan Quinn, kind of a guy just needs to focus on defense, not being a head coach.
Here's what you don't do, guys.
Still not sold on Mike McCarthy, but
who is?
He fell into a good situation right now. And the Cowboys offensive line, that's a big reason that they're doing well. So it'll be interesting to listen to Scooter brag about that on Thursday night. But
do you actually think they go 15-2?
No.
Okay. I
think that's really hard to do, even for a good team.
Like, I really hope they go 14-3. I really, really hope they go 14-3.
They could do that. I mean,
Number
look at
one,
the Chiefs. They've already lost 2. You know what I mean? Like, they got to win every single game from here on out.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they're a team that could do that, but I don't think they go 15-2. I don't think you got to worry about your bet, Tom.
All right, real quick, Perna, because look how much I told you.
Look at us.
Look at us. Real quick, there's a Monday night game tonight. It's an AFC West divisional matchup. Has a lot riding on the line. Raiders, Chargers. Who you got?
I mean, I got to say that my best team in the NFL from last week's power rankings, the Raiders, are going to win this game.
We're pushing that curse hard. We're pushing that real hard.
I think the Chargers beat them, though. Are the Chargers who's favored in this game?
That's a great question. I don't even know.
Chargers, Raiders. Google, tell me.
Tell me, please. Henry Ruggs go fast? Underdogs go fast.
Point spread. Damn it. Chargers, Raiders.
I would assume the Chargers are by a little bit. That'd be my guess.
Chargers favored by 3.
There you go.
There it is.
There you go. Yeah, I have the Chargers win this, but at this point, like the Raider, just Josh Jacobs playing, I think he's still questionable, right? He's gonna be a game time decision.
Josh,
making you do all this research. I have access to the internet, but I am totally just failing.
Well, show's over. This is just bonus.
This is GPS After Dark. We're actually now competing with Pat McAfee right now.
Ooh. Don't mention my name over there.
Pat's sending a hit squad out right now.
Questionable, yeah. So game time decision. No, wait, that's Chris Harris. Damn it.
I think he's still questionable.
Yeah.
But I do not put it out of the realm of possibility for the Raiders to win this football game.
It's a toss-up. It's going to be close.
I need Eckler to go off tonight, so I need him to score lots of fantasy points.
Need those fantasy points.
Points.
I mean, I think this is a big test for both teams.
I agree.
The Chargers coming off a huge win over the Chiefs.
Yep.
They're both of these teams are battling narratives of their past, and it's both that they choke. The Raiders last year, great start to the season, and then they tanked. Chargers always projected to be this great football team, and then they find ways to lose. But Herbert's different than Phillip Rivers. Herbert's better than Phillip Rivers. Derek Carr's playing great. People say I need the Raiders to win to keep the Broncos in second place.
If the Raiders win, they are the only undefeated team in the AFC.
Yeah, it's just Raiders cards.
Number 1.
Yeah.
Which also is crazy, by the way. And I think I retweeted it. I know we're totally going over. I apologize. But this morning I retweeted it. I think Schefter tweeted out, there have been 15 games this season with the game-winning score in the final minute of regulation or an OT, the most since the first weeks of a season in the past 50 years. Like, it's an outlier. Like, this season has given us some damn good football.
Yeah.
Like, crazy good football. And I think that
tonight will be on par with that. I feel like it's going to be whoever has the ball last wins this game, for the cliche. Neither team's perfect. We talked about this on Friday, but like Chargers, you want Austin Eckler to go off? I don't know if he does. The Chargers, if they have a flaw that will kill them, is they can't run the football.
Yeah.
They just can't. And they have a hard time stopping the run.
Justin Herbert's like,
I don't run the ball.
Yeah.
So Gruden says if Jacobs feels good running around today, he'll play. But we'll see.
Let's see who the kings of the AFC West are going to be.
Yes.
After this evening. But ladies and gentlemen, we got over 2,500 people in here. At a point. We're here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We'll be back here Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Mountain Time.
Make sure to sub to both channels. Thumbs the shit out of these videos. And
right up there. And by the way, Power Rankings will be out tomorrow for both of our channels. So check that out because we'll be comparing and contrasting on Wednesday. But folks, thanks so much for watching. That's Brandon frickin' Perna. I'm Tom Grossi. You've been navigated. You've reached your destination.
It says it's ending. StreamYard is struggling to end it, Tom.
We can't get out.
I pushed the button, but I literally don't know if it's ending.
It's still going.
Oh my God.
We just can't talk about football forever. Well,
I think we got to go into YouTube to end it.
Nope. You can't end it. It's just gone.
Shit. We're
alive still. Okay. Well, now we're going to talk about the game that everyone's been talking about. That is going to be, I'm going to pull up a game that we haven't talked about. I think Indianapolis and the Dolphins. An error has occurred. We literally can't end this on StreamYard.
There you go. Go into your YouTube to end it.
This is my final broadcast. I love you.